Hi, it's Candy. Welcome to the channel. One of these days I will get a camera that I can start remotely so we won't have all of this. Have to turn the camera on and walk, sit down and do all that stuff. But until then, this will work fine, won't it? And believe it or not, I was kind of prepared to do this. However, didn't have my timer on, I didn't have my sound turned down, but I think we're ready to go. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. I thought we'd do a little break from our Back to Basics series, and probably several months ago, I mentioned something about doing a video on creative avoidance, and several of you kind of commented on that and seemed interested, and so I thought this might be a fun time to kind of work that in and do something on that, because it's a very interesting, I think, topic, and it really helped me to learn about it, to know about it, and then to be able to identify it so that I could try to kick it to the curb, because it's really a topic that it's pretty easy to get a handle on it once you know about it, can identify it, and then figure out what to do about it. So I thought that that's what we would do today. Oh yeah, handy dandy notes. Okay, well, quit drawing attention to them, but I figure they'll probably show up in every video I do anyway. So again, the notes are so that I can give you what I hope is good content. I have key points down on here that I want to be sure and mention, so I refer to those so that I try not to leave out what I think are key components that I want to be sure and share with you whenever I do a video, because your time's important enough that I put thoughts together and I put a little bit of time into giving you these videos, and I want to be sure and give you the content that I have prepared to do that. So, creative avoidance. Okay, so I have a couple questions. Have you ever had a day when you felt like you just couldn't get rolling, you couldn't get on with it, you couldn't even get things going? I hope all of you out there are just saying a yes to those questions. Not that I want you to have unproductive days, but I just think it's probably a thing that we all deal with. You have plans that you want to accomplish, you have things that you need to do, but just it's kind of hard to get into those, or to keep it going, or there's interruptions, or there's just those days. Maybe you've had days when you didn't get accomplished what you wanted to, what you thought you needed to. There were interruptions. Those days. I mean, I kind of had a whole week of that last week. Not a great week for a lot of reasons. And I think it's important to be able to identify what happens during that time. And let me be clear, sometimes those happens through absolutely no fault of our own. They just happen. That's just life, and those days just happen, and those weeks just happen, and sometimes it is totally out of our control. However, there are other times when, if we can identify what's going on, they are within our control also. So, do you know what creative avoidance means? I have a definition of it, and I will share with you what my definition of that is. Okay, this isn't Webster. This isn't anybody with a great brain. This is just what I think creative avoidance means. Okay, my definition is: creative avoidance is anything and or everything that gets in the way of me getting and staying on task, me doing what needs to be done, or me completing a prioritized list of tasks that I want to do. And it doesn't even have to be totally completing. It can just be getting through a large part of what I want to achieve. There are days that my prioritized task list is daunting, and when I write it down, I know that there's no way that I'm going to achieve all of it. I just want it written down so that I don't lose track of it, and I can move forward things that aren't high priority that day. I just need to see it on paper. And we've talked about that a little bit, okay? So, Creative avoidance, anything, everything that gets in the way of getting and staying on task, doing what needs to be done, completing as much as possible a prioritized task list. Okay? So, what would that mean to you that creative avoidance is? That's a generality of creative avoidance. So now, what exactly is creative avoidance? Can you think of some things that you can put your finger on that are creative avoidance type of things? Okay, so there are probably going to be some things that you might even think are semi-important. You might even think that they're kind of necessary, or so you've always told yourself. You've always thought that they were kind of necessary. I always thought until I learned about this that they were kind of necessary, that I had to pop in and get them done. Probably kind of fun things, probably things that you or I kind of like to do. We thought they were necessary, we kind of like to do. They probably are even something that we kind of do or did on a regular basis. Until we learn to do or not to do, they may have been something that we did on a regular type basis. Okay? So, what would be fun if you could do it right now would be to go grab a daily prioritized checklist. So what I did was I pulled this out. This is August. A couple of things. Of course, I'm transitioning. I have transitioned into September. And I am also redoing my planner. So I will, in the next few days, debut and show you my new planner and what I've got going there. So anyway, this is my August. These are my August pages. And I just flipped over here. This is August 28th. And this shows, I'm not even going to read them to you exactly, but here is my daily task list for August 28th. Okay, so these are some bills that need to be paid, some orders that I need to make, some things I need to do with my sister, a website thing that I needed to do, work on my new binder, some things that I had to do for the car, some things that I needed to set up online. Anyway, these are all, they don't have check marks by them. They should, because I got all of these completed. So these are all high priority on my list for that day. I did complete them. I didn't check them off, okay? What you would not see on here, if you could see these closely, is you would not see check emails. You would not see look at Instagram feed. You would not see watch some YouTube videos. See where I'm going with this? You would not see do any online shopping. Golly, I could have put a lot of things like that on what you would not see on this list, because things like that all for me that day would have been creative avoidance. Email is a big one, guys. Now, it might be that you would want to take 5 or 10 minutes before you started your day's work to jump in, check emails quickly. I don't know if you've ever tried to go a day staying off your phone, not checking emails, not picking up texts, not answering phone, and that's if you don't have anything that is emergency like on hold. I mean, there was 5 years when I could not check my phone. I don't have to check my phone every day now. I don't have to be tied to my phone all the time now. Do you see kind of where I'm going? Anything like that, Instagram, YouTube, Etsy, emails, those are not things that have to be done every single day for me. Anything like that for me would be a creative avoidance type thing. It would keep me from doing anything that needed to be done on this day. It would eat my time away, and I would be avoiding taking care of things on this list. Okay, now am I saying those things are bad? Absolutely not. You might have plenty of time to do that. You might even want to put that on your prioritized list. That might even be something that is a part of your day-to-day routine that you need on your list. Our lives are completely different. Our work schedules are completely different. What you do for work, what I do for work, what we all do on a daily basis is absolutely different. So if those are part of your work routine during the day, those go on a work routine task list. So you would evaluate what you're doing totally differently than what I am doing. But what I'm saying is for each and every one of us, there are things that we need to avoid because they would fall under the heading of creative avoidance, and they would be time wasters for us that would keep us from doing the things that we absolutely need to do. So I guess what I'm saying is analyze and evaluate the things that you do and the things that you need to do to get done what you need to do during the day, and then evaluate the things that you don't need to do, and just start to be very attentive to what helps you reach the goals that you need to do that day, that week, that month, and be attentive to what you do that maybe eats away at your time and does not allow you to reach the goals that you need to reach that day and that week and that month. And I'm talking goals for work, I'm talking goals for family, I'm talking goals for church, I'm talking anything you want to achieve that helps you achieve it, do. And anything that you want to achieve that eats away at your time and hinders you in any way, then try to not do it anymore. Because anything that eats away at your time is creative avoidance. It might be fun, you might like to do it, but if it eats away at your time, it's creative avoidance, okay? So, creative means fun, you enjoy doing it. Gosh, creative is, we all think of creative as something good and fun and relaxing and all of that, but avoidance isn't so good. So avoidance is keeping you from doing something that you probably need to be doing. Whether it's creative or not, you want to avoid avoiding things, right? So that's the important thing. Anything that gets in the way of getting and staying on task, doing what needs to be done, and completing prioritized lists is creative avoidance. So just learn the concept, learn to recognize it, and it will help you evaluate everything. And you'll just be happier once you learn that. Okay? Don't beat yourself up about it. Just learn to recognize it. That's all. So, and then I'll tell you real quickly, also, as we close this, one day, things that are creative avoidance may actually go on your prioritized list the next day. For instance, emails, I try not to spend hardly any time on those at all, and because of that, I look at one email account and all of a sudden one day it has 3,800 emails in it. Well, son of a gun, that has to go on a prioritized task list at some point to delete those puppies. And, you know, some of them I have to keep, some of them I have to put in different files, but for the main part, I just have to start deleting at one point. So I don't pay a lot of attention to them for a long time, but then at some point I have to spend quite a bit of time to get them off there, so then I can get them off my phone. And you know, it might be better to spend a little time each day with them. I'm not sure. That gets to be a massive headache. But they don't get a lot of time, and then they have to go on the list. Same thing with YouTube videos. You might not want to spend a lot of time there, but then at some point you may want to watch them for some reference, and then you may want to watch them for some research. And some things can be creative avoidance at one time, and then they can be something that you want to reference, research, and will help you at another. So analyze and evaluate all the time. So just stay on top of it. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. Just be aware of that and how things can either help you or how they can eat your time away. That's all. So our buzzer's getting ready to go off. We don't like that to sound very well. So thank you so much for watching. The creative avoidance thing can eat your time away like crazy. Your time is precious, precious. And that's why I try to thank you every single time you join me, because your time is precious. And I appreciate it when you spend your time here watching these videos on this channel. So the next two coming up will be another back to basic. I have a few more tips and techniques to show you on how to use your planner effectively, and then I'll show you a new setup in my planner. So that's what we've got coming up right away. You know how much I appreciate you guys. I just hugs to you all the time, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.